Recently, I made a video talking about solo leveling and its many flaws, and I was met with fans so dense and willing to fight tooth and nail to defend it that you'd think I was arguing with the solo leveling PR team, some of which are so contrived I just needed to share.
It's totally in character for Jinwoo to dismiss the system. When he first wakes up, he doesn't think it's real.
It's crazy that this is a hill you're willing to die on, but I'll break it down for you like you're 5. He wakes up, is immediately briefed on the double dungeon, and is told he is one of 6 survivors, meaning at this point, he knows everything he experienced was real. He makes the connection that this same UI popped up right before he died, so it's likely responsible for saving him. He confirms that while no one else can see it, that he's able to directly interact with it. So there is no reason for him to believe that this is a hallucination, and instead of even attempting to do the quest, he goes to sleep despite the system warning him of a penalty. I don't give a shit why or what reason he had. Ultimately, he did fucking dismiss it, and the gall to say that he didn't is crazy. If your mom told you to wash the dishes and you went to sleep instead, what would you call that? And reminder, all of this is so that he can get thrown into a penalty that he shouldn't have survived. It's just a tiered cake of dogshit writing.
Jinwoo's power is to scale infinitely. You're mad because Hei's using his powers.
This is such a brainless defense. Yeah, no shit, it's his power. I'm saying that it's ass because it feels unearned and rushed. In one instance, he does 4 days of dailies, goes dungeon crawling, and in the same day defeats a C-rank boss. These aren't small jumps. He went from having the strength of an E-rank hunter to a C-rank boss, meaning he's as strong as a group of C-rank hunters, who would already be exponentially stronger than an E-rank hunter. But let's look at how he got here. He fights a horde of enemies that are supposedly way stronger than him since they have the red names, but that doesn't exactly match what we see when he kills them so easily. And when he finally fights a boss with an orange name, it's somehow a close match. Also, with the amount of enemies here, he should 100% be dead. Unless you're gonna tell me they fought one by one like it's a Bruce Lee movie. There's a reason why training arcs are used so often, because it justifies characters punching above their weight class, while also making it feel earned since it can embody weeks or months of training. Remember, his power is that he can scale infinitely. All that means is he can keep getting stronger, but it didn't have to scale this fast. It was the writer's decision to make it so empty and nonsensical.
He physically changed because the system is prepping him, molding him into the perfect specimen.
How far up your colon did you have to reach to pull out this excuse? Why the fuck would his face or height have any bearing on his strength, which is assumedly all this system cares about? Jinwoo has infinitely scaling stats, but in this universe, your innate rank or stats are not tied to your physique or training. The only reason we see swole S-class hunters is because they train to keep from going rusty. Their overall power would be the same regardless. So no, he shouldn't be shredded, especially not after what's likely a week or 2 of rudimentary training. The writers just wanted a way to make suckers like you invest in him and keep reading their shit manhwa.
Jinwoo killed those guys because the system forced him to.
Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about? If you just opened your eyes, you could see the quest set to defeat them. The only one talking about killing is Jinwoo. He chose to interpret defeat as murdering them. Given that he was treated unfairly for being weaker, he has the chance to be the bigger person here, since he now has the opportunity to stand against the status quo. He has all the mental complexity of a chimpanzee. And for all the people saying that he didn't turn them in because he didn't want to reveal his secret, would threatening their lives and knocking them out not be enough? But even then, is killing 6 guys worth the ambiguous risk of having your secret revealed? An idea that the writers didn't even bother entertaining. This has to be like the meme where JJK fans don't read. Are you guys even paying attention to what you're watching? And this segues into their next defense.
Jinwoo isn't a hero, so don't expect him to act like it.
Guess what? You're right. He doesn't act like a hero. That's not his character. But when everyone and their mom walks away treating him like it, what other picture is that supposed to paint for the audience? I don't need my protagonists to be heroes. I love Johnny Joestar. He starts as a douchebag and has entirely selfish goals. But guess what? The people around him treat him accordingly, powers or not. Jinwoo's an asshole and he's treated like the second coming. They just wanted to have their cake and eat it too. So yes, going forward, I will absolutely keep judging him in the way the writers constantly have him painted, especially if there's potential for a more compelling story.
Jinwoo didn't take the money because he knows he can make more in the future.
I am so perfectly aware that he could make more money in the future, but that doesn't change the fact that he needs money right now for his mom and sister. For some reason, the comment monkeys like to point out that there is no cure for his mother that money could buy, but miss the fact that there's no known cure up to this point in general. So at least having the money to keep her on long-term life support is better than nothing. And I pray that people don't use hindsight as a defense. At this point, he didn't know about the water of life, and he hasn't thought of selling items yet to make money. And I know for a fact I'm gonna hear this.
Jinwoo didn't want to work with Jinho because he doesn't fully understand the system and would prefer personal agency.
Oh, of course, the system that hasn't actually done anything bad to him. How could I forget? But also, if he's so worried about how unpredictable the system is, wouldn't one of those possibilities be that these powers won't last forever? Why not strike while the iron's hot? It wouldn't take long for him to complete all these missions. And again, this is life-changing money he needs right now. But it's all entirely moot since he negotiates for a change in the terms the next day. Why he didn't try to do that from the start instead of turning it down altogether is beyond me. Even if he does value personal agency, how tied down could you possibly be with 6 billion won? It's not like this would totally restrict him from making more money in different ways in the future. But even if he didn't at all care about the money, does that imply he'd care more for less agency than his own mother's life? It's even funnier that this is the same group of people that will tell me he's special because his motivations revolve around his family. Speaking of him being special though,
Jinwoo's special because of the way he exploits the system.
are we watching the same anime? In what way does he ever use the system differently than intended? Everyone wants to jerk him off and say that he's special, but he doesn't use his powers in any way that anyone else in his position wouldn't. And comparatively to other hunters in the same anime, he doesn't work nearly as hard, so he doesn't have a uniquely strong work ethic. Compound this with the fact that he has all the personality of a block of tofu, and you get a character that's about as interesting as a used napkin.
Jinwoo let Song fight out of respect for him.
I don't even know if I want whatever you're on. Song didn't step in because he had something to prove. He stepped in because he thought Jinwoo didn't stand a chance. He was fighting for survival, not pride. And even if there was the unlikely chance that Song could have won, why risk it? Again, if he didn't step back and just jumped at him, Song wouldn't have been able to stop them from fighting. So yeah, he looks like a fucking knuckle-dragger for walking away and only stepping in right before he died.
It makes sense for Jinwoo to pick the Necromancer class.
My problem isn't that he decided to be a necromancer. It's that the moron who wrote the story gave him that option in the first place. It's just another power-up that doesn't fit narratively with the story. It's completely at odds with the show's themes of being given a second chance and working harder, since now he can just make others do his work for him. This power also doesn't meaningfully change his character in any way. He starts as a pussy because he's weak, he gets stronger and becomes a dickhead, and by the end of the season is still the same asshole, except stronger. And no, this wink and nod at the audience doesn't make it any less embarrassing. As trivial as this all sounds, it's morons like you that eat whatever you're served that make studios think that releasing subpar garbage is okay, because they know you'll defend it like you have a gun to your head. And it grinds my gears when people generalize all power fantasy as slop, or say that it doesn't have to be deep to be enjoyed. Put down the chud jug. There are power fantasies that have engaging stories and great character development even between the slugfests. And no one's saying a story has to be deep to be enjoyed, but the story, simple or not, still needs to be well executed. In the end, if you want to enjoy solo leveling, go for it. That's your prerogative. But let's not pretend like it's the least bit well written. Fuck this piece of shit. This has absolutely revitalized me into making a video on season 2.
一睡もできませんでした。
まあ家に着いたのは明け方だったし。
I'm Chris Hansen, and I want to ask you some questions. Please have a seat.